Welcome back to the Last Starship. Today we'll talk about management and optimizing your gameplay. Consider it advanced tips because some of those are really awesome and you can learn them only here. So after watching this video, your life will be so much easier in the game because there are so many quality of life things that you might miss that will make your life way easier. So I will start with the first thing, which is auto sell, which is amazing. Basically, every time your ship gets into the system, sometimes you want to buy food, sometimes you want to sell some crap, and maybe you want to have specific resources on your ship at all time, for example, for production. What you usually do, you open trade and you do it manually. You look for, let's say, fuel, and then you go and buy it yourself with like hotkeys and everything. But no, there is an easier way how you can manage that. It's called auto trade. Basically, what you can do, you can get your ship and automatically buy and sell the required resources. In order to do that, make sure that you select the right ship in the list of your ship, let's say Sword of Destiny 2, then open the trade and search what do you want. For example, we would like to buy fuel at all times. Then you can click this triangle and you will open auto sell menu. Basically, there are two filters, buy below and sell above. Buy below means that it will buy the item that you need until there will be some specific amount of that item in the storage. Sell above, it will sell the rest of the stuff. When you're done setting those settings, you press enabled and then it will automatically trade. The trade that are automatic will be shown in auto trade window, and over here you can see the whole list of those settings for your current ship. The only drawback that you can't really set this for multiple ships, you have to set it for each ship individually. But yeah, that will allow you to manage your food, oxygen, water and such. For example, for your combat ships, you would like to have specific amount of ammo. Usually bullets are too many and you always sell them because otherwise they will clog your inventory. So you can sell above specific numbers, and then when you loot the enemy ship, and you come back to the normal station, to the shipyard area, the friendly space, it will automatically be sold. And that's how I manage my inventory now. This is so much easier than manually doing all that. And as always, you can use hotkeys Shift and Control to adjust the numbers. So for example, for oxygen, we would like to buy when we have below 25 oxygen and we want to sell, not all, god damn it, when you are above 30, because usually you can get some of that oxygen from the enemy ships as a loot and it will slow your area and it will just fill up your storage and you will have issues. Same with FTL charges. Sometimes they are good, but you don't need more than 5 usually. So basically I recommend to use this for managing the items that you get quite often. For example, the goddamn spacesuits. We had so many of them, and now I just take a look at my crew number, which is 80 right now, and we will sell all the spacesuits that are above that. Same with the logistic drones. If you don't have enough drones, that's an issue. If you have too many, that's horrible as well. So let's say we buy below 60, but sell above 80. You can also use sell above without buy below to sell stuff that you don't need, like precious metals. When they get on the ship, you don't need them anymore. And right now you can see over here, that shuttle is inbound with an estimated value of 153. So it's coming here to sell the stuff, and your guys will automatically sell everything they need. Honestly, I would love to know this tip before starting playing this game, because I always was struggling with the ships that are low on oxygen, food, and everything. A couple of teams actually died. The crew members just got decimated without the food. So yeah, subscribe to the channel and like the video to see more videos like that and help to promote it in the YouTube algorithm. Next tip for you: when you are in the system and you have neutral ships over there, you can click them and see what's inside of them. For shipyards, it's not that crazy interesting, but you can learn something like that. But most important, that ship is gone now. It's useful for other ships that are flying around. So you can get inside and take a look how they are managed, and honestly, you can learn a lot of mechanics of the game like that. So for example, this ship is loaded with robot arms and everything, and the docking port is here, so it's somewhat automated right now. And this is a pretty cool way to learn how some game mechanics works and maybe copy it to your own ships or just buy the ship later on from the foundry. I actually bought Gladius recently and it has the same mechanics. Docking port is connected to the set of rails that delivers stuff over here, and then it's delivered to the storages. Buying the ships is nice, it's fun, but sometimes you need to optimize that. I actually created storage crates for that. And another cool thing, that the guys deliver stuff to the rail tracks that deliver stuff to the cannon. So I was wondering how the hell the system works, because we have the robot arms that deliver ammo to the weapons, but there was nothing given them here. And my guys, they actually decided to bring them there and put them on the rail tracks. So that can be used as well. I'm not sure how it works, but it's in the game code, so yeah. Next tip will be for the factory building, because yeah, in order to finish the game and finish the Stargate, you will need to get a lot of production going. I tried to go with the small star base that we had from the start, but it wasn't great, so I updated it, I made it bigger, and you will need about this amount of space to create most of the stuff in the game, to be honest. This is far from being optimal, but honestly, you don't really need to have heavy factories to complete the game, at least the campaign. I haven't played survival yet, but based on the campaign, you can do it just like that with minimal automation. The production line over here, so basically if you want to make an easy to do fast production line without managing the automatics too much, you need to start with a couple of crates with basic resources, then fabricators that produce specific stuff. And what I did here, I created a short robot arm to each of the buildings that deliver them to the next one. And then we created the storage crate for each resource. Yes, we have everything here. Well, almost. And that allows you to see which resources are lacking and why your production might be slow. So for example, over here, we can see that we are low on stable isotopes, quantum processors, and quantum compute grid. Basically, by seeing that the crates are empty, you will know what you can scale, and it will be way easier because all the production is in one place, other than it's been spread all around the spaceship. And yeah, even without the belts, tracks, and deliveries, your guys, we have only 62 crew on this spaceship, can deliver everything normally, so don't worry about being inefficient. This area holds everything, so now when they want to produce something, they will pick items from this vicinity and bring them nearby. That will speed up all the production, so they won't have to bring it from far away storage area. And if we want to create something else, we can just get a couple of those assembly tables nearby and get the specific buildings that we want, because we have all the resources that we need here. That way, if you're missing some buildings, you can actually build them here quite easily without significant issues. Now let's talk about the storage crate a little bit, since we talked about this thing right now. Storage crate has one important setting, which is prioritize crate. It's off by default, so when you just put the building, put the crate, and put what you want to store there, for example, cannon shells, in this case, it will prioritize zones. That means that the resources first will be stored in the storage zones like this, and only then they will be delivered to the storage crates. Personally, I prefer to have it prioritize crates. That way, they will not store stuff all around and bring them here. Oh yeah, another advantage of having this production line over here, that even if your storage area is full, the production will keep going unless the crates will be full. So it will allow you to have reserves of every resources that you need, which will make life easier. So yeah, if we'll get this crate to explosives, they will bring just a couple of those to free up the space, but it will prioritize zones though. So yeah, it will stay around plaguing the storage, but it will prioritize crates instead. They will be really anxious to bring all the stuff from the storage zones over here. And this is way better because most of the time you can use storage zones for anything. It's like for random stuff, but later on you definitely would like to use crates for storage because it's way more efficient. The only drawback that crate can't handle anything, like liquids should be stored in the tanks, so you can't put deuterium here, fuel, and other things that can be stored in the tanks. So yeah, in your star bases you would like to store that in the tanks, but when you carry them around, you will have to put them in the normal storage areas. There is no way around that. Since we're talking about storage and delivery and transporting, you probably would like to have transporting ship that will allow you to move stuff between the bases. In my case, I have 3 locations that I need to use. Yeah, that's a lot of combat here. First one is placed inside of the nebula that produces the fuel. This gas collector right here. Second, my factory that is located in second sector main shipyard area. And the third one is Gaz Collector Tool that's located inside of the nebula in the new area that's collecting the new type of resource, which is like Xylon gas. And I use one transport to transport resources between them, and I use interstellar logistics for that. It's pretty complex, but the idea is pretty simple. You need to make set of orders that will be executed in a sequence, so they will do all that, and basically you can take a look how I manage that myself. I start by transferring to Foundry, and that's all the resources I want to bring to that place. Then transfer from Foundry. First we unload stuff to the space station, then we load from the station specific stuff. Then we transfer it to Gaz Collector Tool. We bring shielded canister there, fuel, and well, that's it. Then we transfer from that Gaz Collector to that's shielded Xylon that's been refined over there, and we transfer it back to the Foundry. From here we go to the basic area to buy FTL charges, and then we go back to Gaz Collector 1 in order to deliver resources there and pick up resources from it as well. So we deliver hyperspace isotopes and quantum wafers to that place, and bring fuel, stable isotopes, deuterium, quantum processor, and explosives from there. So it took me a while to build it properly, but this is how it works. And I use quantity on board in most cases in order to figure out how many resources do we want to deliver, because right now we have deliver all explosives to the station, and you can see that station here is full of explosives. It basically overloaded the storage, so we don't want that. In order to avoid that, we can adjust this order to quantity on board. There are three options. Quantity is like specific amount every time, all but unload everything from the ship but the amount that will remain on the ship. And then quantity on board is how much do you want to be on the ship that it will be delivered to. And we pick up 70 explosives. This is the amount of one chest, and we will deliver 70 explosives over there. Misclick, shift, and we click several times. By the way, guys, if you have the auto clicker, I use that to increase and decrease the numbers. That makes it so much easier to go for high numbers. Sadly, you can't type stuff here, and control is always full. And if you will use shift to try to make a lower amount than full, it won't work. So you definitely would like to click manually every time when you set up the amount. That will allow you to transport resources between the space stations and manage your inventory more or less. Now let's talk about Gaz Collector Tool. That ship wants to harvest Xylon gas, and I just learned recently that it's important to place it in the right place in the system. So in this system we can see the Xylon cloud, and my ship was somewhere here, and it was producing Xylon at a really low rate. So you want to put it in the middle of that gas cloud, and that will allow you to produce that Xylon at the highest ratio. Now our storage is full because we produce it that fast, but basically, yeah, that will allow you to properly maximize the production rate of the gas collectors. I learned it recently and I had no idea that it actually matters. Another tip from people on the YouTube comments on the last video. By the way, if you want to check out the beginner's guide, you can check it over there and go take a look. That has a lot of information for the newer players, but this one is more advanced. If you need cannons or any components for your ships that you don't have in store over here, which is happening very often, I advise you guys to do one tricky thing. I don't think it's like a really legit way of doing that. Most of the time you want to produce it yourself, but some things like weapons control center and weapons cannot be produced at all. So you would like to only buy them, and in order to equip ship like this with weapons, it will take forever because we have too many weapons there. What I would advise you guys is to save your game, and if you're planning to create the new ship, for example, we just got this ship and now we want to equip it with cannons through the editor, right? For example, guys, this is just an example. You can use it for all types of resources like that. Basically, yeah, that will require 42 cannons, and we have only 3 here, and it will take forever to get them all. What I would advise you guys to do, to export the ship, create new export, spindle, cannon, create it, then abandon game, go to creative mode, load the ship, edit the ship, and you can actually spawn those things easily. Okay, I guess you can spawn them, but you can remove them through dismantling. Okay, that's a bit annoying. So yeah, it doesn't work. I tried, it doesn't work, but what I would advise you guys is to make ships in the creative mode instead. If you want to make the new ship, better go to the creative mode, get the equipment here, like go to the editor, get everything that you need in the right places. We have unlimited amount of cannons here, right? And then save the ship. You can export it. We will use the same slot, export ship. Then we abandon game, load our save file. And if we would like to get that ship now, like spindle that we wanted, we can get spindle cannon for 2.2 million, but it will spawn already with the weapons. This way, you will be able to get the rare components that you can't get otherwise, that will take too long to get. I would be okay if I would be able to manufacture the cannons. That would be nice, but we can't. And you can get any components like that. So there are two ways. First one, you can make the new ship layout in the creative mode and then just buy it. Because, yeah, the price increases based on components and everything, it's okay. And plan B, you can then take one of your ships, fly it to your new ship, and dismantle the equipment, and bring it to your own ship and use that. That way you can use those ships as a donors, basically create the blueprints, something like that. There's like 20 cannons right here. We can export the ship as 20 cannons donor, then fabricate 20 cannons donor. Then all you need to do is to dock with it. Yeah, it's a bit tiresome, but you can create the donor of all the components that you need for your new ship or your project in the game. That's if you're upgrading your ship. Otherwise, creative mode seems to be the superior one. And then you can use logistics to transfer people there and dismantle that thing. So I think this is a new ship, right? Don't forget that you will need space suits as well. So let's say 15 space suit, 50 crew members. Then they will take space suits and get to the new ship. And over here, you issue order to dismantle the cannons. The guys are going there. They won't enter it without the spacesuits because, well, there is no oxygen. And when everything is dismantled, order a new order for logistics and deliver everything back to the ship that you docked with. That's Sword of Destiny. Let's deliver all that. And now you can deliver 20 cannons there. Bam. The guys will easily pick them up and deliver them. And then you can use logistics and get your crew away from here as well. And when this is done, you are left with empty brick that you can get rid of by just selling the ship and getting the rest of the money back. So yeah, this way the ship will disappear and you will get the cannons that you can use for whatever. And that works for all the components that are rare that you might want to get, but I hope the developers will introduce other way to do that later into the game because it feels weird. Really small tip that I recently found that was very surprising. I was exploring the shipyard and I found that there are some things on the scaffolding, and I thought that you can only place solar panels on the scaffolding, but you can place mining lasers as well. So I tested if it works on one of my ships, and yes, you can place mining laser on the scaffolding and connect it to your systems, and you can use it to mine stuff. A small but useful tip, so you won't need to bother with putting the mining lasers on the walls of your mining ships, so they can be outside and not connected to anything. A bit more about fleet logistics. If you have multiple ships in one sector, you can actually use logistics screen to move resources between them if they have that drone bay and drones. That way the logistics drones can actually deliver resources between them without need of docking. For example, let's deliver some fuel from the foundry to our Sword of Destiny and Sword of Destiny 2. And Gladius, they are lacking fuel, so what do? We select the ship that should send the stuff, and then select the things that we want to deliver. So we will use, we have 127 fuel, we will send 20 fuel to each ship. And also I want some deuterium, so let's send 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. What happens now? Guys in the foundry factory will deliver those goods to the drones. The drones will pick them up, and fly with them to the required ships. That is pretty convenient in the situation when you don't want to manually dock, and that's a low amount of resources you want to deliver. But if you want to send, let's say, 500 ammo, that won't be the best way, because that will be way more complex than just docking and delivering things manually. Since we're talking about the fleets, let's talk a bit about fleet control. Once you have more than one ship that you want to take with you, you can use those controls. Honestly, it's not that important when you're not fighting, but when you go into the combat, you would like to make sure that you know what you're doing. The first one is focus layer. That will allow you to follow the ships. I don't know, I never touched this one, to be honest, so I have no idea what does it do. But it says it tracks the currently selected layer. Most important things are those two things: fleet combat AI and fleet formation. Let me jump away from here with my combat ships to show you how it works. When you're jumping around with your fleet, make sure to select the ships that you want. In order to do it properly, first you select the area, you select where to jump, then select which ships will jump with you. They should all align, and when you're ready, you're pressing the jump, and they are all going over there together. Although it's really important to notice that they will sort of be in the same position as beforehand. So when they join in, they will be with the same, position. I wanted to say different, but I have no idea. Which is very important during the combat, so you would like them to be close to each other. If you will jump with one ship over there, one ship over there, and one ship over here, there is a high chance that they will be taken out one by one by random enemies, so it's better to do like actual formations, let's put it like that. So let's talk about formations then. Fleet formation, when enabled, all of the fleet ships within the system will fly together in a close formation, following the lead of whichever ship you are directly controlling. What it means that now we're controlling the Gladius, and when we activate this option, those ships will try to follow it in the, I think it's a wing formation, I'm not sure which exactly. But they will follow it and they will turn with it as well. That's really useful when you're fighting too many enemies, and if you have too many ships, that's even more useful, because otherwise they can do whatever they want, be far away, and that can be painful. So if we will turn around over there, all the ships will turn with us, and we'll try to, I hope they will try to follow the formation, or, well, yeah, they go together, so that's nice. If we'll decide to send them away though, in different areas, that won't do. As you can see, they canceled the orders and they decided to fly next to us. If we turn it off, we can send each ship to its own direction, just like in the RTS game. So they will go where we send them and they will not follow each other. So this is the basic controls of your ships during the missions and combat. And if you want them to get close, you can enable fleet formation again, and they will try to follow the formation after that and get closer to each other. Actually, that's not that close. Well, they got really close to each other for sure, so I guess formation works. Now let's talk about second option, Fleet Combat AI. What does it do? When you enter the combat area and you have this one activated, other ships that are in the system that you own, they will move around by themselves. If you don't activate it, they will stay where they are and they will follow your orders. Turning this off will allow you to manually micro the ships and send them in different locations to use the tactical advantage in the combat, and so on and so on. Make sure to turn off both Fleet Formation and Fleet Combat AI for that. That will allow you to be really smart about your positioning. But if you don't want to bother with that, or you want them to group up, or you want them to do their own things, you can use Fleet Combat AI. That will allow them to move around. Let's actually go and test it out in actual combat, so you will see how it looks. It's better to learn it here on the video than risk your ships. By the way, another important tip for you: before going into the combat area, make sure to save your game, because you don't know what you will encounter. Even the strongest fleets can be dismantled by enemies, and you don't want that. So yeah, if you fail, you can load autosave though, but it's better to save. Then activate battle stations before going in, because your guys need time to get to the computers, to the cannons and everything to get ready for combat. You would like to be ready when you are fighting enemies. Another thing you might want to turn on are suits on. That's a command for your guys to wear the space suits. It will save them from suffocation if their ship will be attacked by ghost cannons and they will lose oxygen. So if you are going into the really hard fight, I recommend you guys to have the suits on. Just make sure to turn it off afterwards. They can be with the suits for quite a while. And there we go, we have a couple of enemies. Let's activate the Fleet Combat AI. And as you can see, Sword of Destiny and Sword of Destiny 2 decided to take their own route around. They are going around, you know, maneuvering, using the right distance that they like. Our Gladius is taking extensive damage, but overall, it's nice. It's nice. But most of the time, I would like my ships to be where I want them, so I order them manually like in the RTS game. So it's up to you which option to pick for controls. But yeah, both options are viable, especially if you have the strong fleet. That might be a good thing to let the AI do the thing, so they will roam around and annoy the enemies. I mentioned it in the previous video, but you probably know it as well. If you go into the combat and you don't have that many drones, you really would like to turn off repair hull and gather salvage. That will allow the drones to be on board and they will not be shot down by the Gatling guns. But in that case, your ship will be shot by the Gatling guns. So it's a mixed thing. If you have a lot of drones, keep the repair hull up because that will allow your ship to repair itself during the combat, which is nice. And also, if enemies will get too close, they will shoot drones first instead of your ship, which is, most of the time it's good, because you have a lot of drones in the salvage, so they are not that hard to get. But yeah, after you destroy the enemies, feel free to enable the gather salvage and repair hull. Gather materials is gathering the actual pieces of metal, like those. I don't do that because it's really inefficient. I just gather salvage, which are ammo, materials, that kind of stuff. They think that that's worth something. When jumping away from the area where you were fighting, drones are harvesting the resources, make sure that you read this warning that's right behind me. Basically, when the drones are out and if you will jump, your crew members outside of the ship and drones outside of the ship, they will disappear. It happens often if you have the queues. Where are they? I don't even know. If you have the queues on entering the drone hubs, and yeah, you will lose some drones if you do like that. The only reason to do that, if you are really stuck, if you're running out of fuel or oxygen, that kind of stuff, or if enemies are coming over that will take you out. So other than that, make sure to save your drones because they are nice. Some additional tips regarding the mining. I don't know if you know that or not, but you can use your cannons on asteroids. So if you run out of ore, you can actually shoot the asteroid with cannons. Let's wait for them to turn on and everything. You don't even need to get a combat mode for that. They can be manned by your crew members and stuff. And after couple of shots, yeah, it takes a while, it will break into other smaller asteroids and that will have more ore. So if you mine out the ore, you can destroy those asteroids to get a little bit more ore. Although, personally, I don't find it that efficient because you don't get that much ore from the smaller asteroids like that. But it might be useful in cases if you don't have any other options right now and you need it right now, right here. Wow, it takes a while. There we go. So it broke into two various asteroids and you can mine them right now. Don't forget to activate the cannons again because they will be turned off from auto mode and they will not shoot enemies next time. A small management tip for the weapons and ammunition. I like to use this system with the small storage crates and short robot arms delivering to the nearby weapons the ammo from those things. This is very convenient. This one. And it will allow you to automatically reload the weapons that are connected to that small storage crate. If you put them on the side, it's better to put the weapons in groups of two because one small storage crate can support two cannons. Otherwise, it won't have enough space. That way you can, if you plan properly, not like I did over here, you can automatically supply all your cannons and your crew members won't need to carry the ammo from here all the way there for the reload. It will be done by the robot arms and it works really, really well. It takes a while to set up though. And the last tip for today, that you can actually sector scan. This is for late game, I think when you get to the next sector, to the second sector, and it takes a while, but it will allow you to find anomalies next to the system you're in. and find the new systems. That's very useful to find new asteroid belts, new things to discover, maybe some gas clouds. For example, we found this system over there that has the basic gas cloud from the previous system, and you can produce fuel there. I was surprised to find that. There we go, we found an unsurveyed asteroid belt, and you can actually survey it from any area. You don't need to be nearby, you can fly away and it will be still surveyed after that, but it needs to have the supercomputers on your ship somewhere around here that are surveying the ship. So you can select which ship will do what. Okay, 2 more tips, the secret ones, the bonus ones. First one, the game speed. It seems that the 10 times game speed is actually slower than 5 times game speed because of the low FPS. Because every time I go to 10 times speed, it's getting insanely slow. So I learned myself that 5 times speed seems to be the better one. Test it yourself, figure out how it works for you before using them. And the last tip about money earning. I found that combat is really easy way to earn money if you are strong enough. So in our basic sector, we got loads of contracts for combat. I just was waiting around and picking them up. And now we have like a lot. And we can go to those sectors and destroy all of them. If you are strong enough, you can do that. And that will give you so much money. That's like a good extra cash for you to grow your empire. Before attempting something like that, make sure to repair armor on your ship. In order to do that, go for ship management and press confirm. That will repair all the broken armor pieces on your ships and save the game. This is important. So let's go jump into the most combat heavy sector and see if we'll survive that. I'm actually curious myself. I never had that many enemies in one area. So let's go. That will be fun. Make sure to enable your guns beforehand. There we go. Oh, the enemies are everywhere. Oh god, that might not end well. Do we have anyone strong here? You can see how strong enemies are based on their class, more or less. That's kind of showing you the average, but it doesn't seem that it's an issue. Let's activate the fleet combat AI so our ships will be moving around and get evasion bonus. They're all coming in, but I think they're pretty weak. The only problem here is this defense platform. The rest of them should be destroyed. And yeah, since our ships are that strong and powerful, we will easily demolish all that fleet, and you will see how we're getting the rewards right now, one after another. 16 enemy ships. There we go. 1, 11, 10. Let's turn around over there and shoot with our cannons and stuff. 9 ships. A bit less now. They are being massacred completely. 7 enemy ships left. So if you have the good fleet or strong capital combat ship or something like that, you shouldn't have significant issues destroying the enemies, because in the first area, most of them are really weak. Like this is the strongest one they have, the strongest ship, and it won't survive for long as well. We took 1% damage here, 0 damage here, and 14% damage here. So I wouldn't say it's that bad, and we earned how much? I think about 5 million from this run. There we go, all dead. And sometimes you don't even need to destroy the enemies that are left behind, because they can be okay, they want to destroy. That's why you don't want to have the fleet combat AI sometimes, because some of the ships can get really aggressive and try to destroy everything. You can go check out the sector map, and if you have the area where you're in without the notification combat, that means that you've done all the missions in the area, so you can leave. Another tip for you: if you have a system that has hostiles modification to them, that means that there will be more and more enemies coming up from time to time, and they're coming in waves. I just recently learned that you can defeat them all, but if you don't want to, if you're not ready for that, if you leave one of the enemies who are pretty weak or far away like this platform, the enemies won't come. The next wave comes only when the current wave is destroyed. So what can you do? You can leave one ship that's really weak, that can do much, turn off your cannons, repair yourself, and loot, for example. Or in our case, leave the space station over there. There was another one here that got destroyed. And just loot this area without fighting. That will allow us to safely loot it without being interrupted. and then jump away because who cares? Also, I don't advise you to leave your combat ships alone in the system where the enemies are because they, I don't know why, but for me, they were triggered to go into combat. So if you leave them alone, they will try to do their own decision making and they will try to go and fight the space station and might die because this one is strong. And the last tip for you, if you want to find the contracts from all the systems, you don't really need to jump around for that. You can build the small space stations there. Like for example, in this area with the shipyard, you can fabricate the new ship, the cheapest one. It costs, I think it costs 113k, like it's really cheap. So we fabricate that. Don't get any crew over there, just leave it like that. And then when you leave, you can use this new ship in order to select the system and check out the contracts available. Really nice. So you can have those ships in every system that has the contracts and farm the contracts that you like that. I do it all the time and it seems fun. And yeah guys, that's all the tips I can give you for the Last Starship for now. I hope they were useful for you. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite tip, and if you have extra tips for newer or advanced players, something cool, share them down below as well. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to promote it in the YouTube algorithm. Other than that, check out the video description for the playlist for more guides and playthrough of the Last Starship. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.